you about glory to God alone. And I was reading this morning and I came across something that Johann Bach used to do when he would write his musical compositions. He was one of the greatest composers of all times. And it said that at the bottom of all of his compositions, he would put the initials SDG. Not just SD or not just DG, but SDG. And what it stands for is, now I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this correctly because I don't speak Latin, but Soli, Deo, Gloria. And it means glory to God alone. And really, it just got me thinking today about really all glory is meant to be to God alone. And that really, when you think about what has happened from all time, from the very beginning of time, even from Adam and Eve, is that man and his human nature has been trying to usurp or trying to take the glory for himself. And you think about what Satan did even in the Garden of Eden when he was tempting Adam and Eve, is really talking to them about the fact that they would, be like God, knowing good and evil. And just really that heart of wanting to have the glory for yourself, or wanting to steal the glory, I guess is the easiest way to say it. We don't think that we're doing that. We don't even, who would say that? Who would say, oh yeah, I'm going to steal God's glory? That's not something that we would think about on a day-to-day basis. It's not something that would be even a desire. I wouldn't even think somebody who is trying to do evil would even say that of themselves, that, oh yeah, I want to steal God's glory. But that's ultimately what we wind up doing. That if we're not glorifying God alone, if we're not giving glory to God the glory that is due him alone, then that's in essence what we are doing, is we're stealing his glory. And I love this prayer of David's. It's in 1 Chronicles 29, verse 10 through 13. And David's in the presence of the whole assembly, and he says, "Praise be to you, Lord, the God of our father Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Yours, Lord, is the greatness and the power and the glory and the majesty and the splendor, for everything in heaven and earth is yours. Yours, Lord, is the kingdom. You are exalted as head over all. Wealth and honor come from you. You are the ruler of all things. In your hands are strength and power to exalt and give strength to all. Now, our God, we give you thanks and praise your glorious name." So I love that. I love David's heart, because David's heart was glory to God alone. David's focus was glory to God alone. And when we look in the New Testament and look at Jesus's life and look at all the comments Jesus made about God, all the prayers he said, all of the things he taught the disciples who followed him, everything that Jesus did was always about glory to God alone. Jesus never even took glory for himself. Jesus never even raised himself up. He talked about that God was going to glorify him, or that God did glorify him, or God gave him, the position that he gave him. But Jesus wasn't trying to take that for himself. Jesus didn't try to override God. He didn't try to, basically, I always think of the picture of a king being on a throne. And when we are not in line with God, what we do is we basically, kick God off the throne and try to sit on the throne ourselves, because we're wanting to be in control, or we're wanting glory, or we're wanting praise, or we're wanting to be kings ourselves. And really, it's about learning how to accept him as king. It's learning how to acknowledge him as king, worship him as king, obey him as king, submit to him as king. And we can look at a worldly kingdom as an example that helps us, because you look at how people treat, kings in this world, and the glory and the honor that is given them, and it really isn't due them. It's really due to God alone. And that if we can somehow wrap our heads around. And I know that's really, really hard for us in the United States because of the way we've been raised and because of the way our society is. We don't have that mindset. We don't have that mindset of submission. We don't have that mindset of surrender, if you want to call it that. And really, that's the heart of people who follow God. And even through the Old Testament with the Israelites, that's what God kept calling them back to. In the New Testament, that's what Jesus calls us to, is to really, it's learning how to surrender ourselves to His Lordship, to Him being King, to Him being in control of our lives, to Him being what we focus on and what's most important to us. And then when we align ourselves the right way and we quit fighting Him, then we are welcomed as members of His kingdom, members of His family, and protected, and we get all of the blessings and benefits from being with Him. So I hope this helps you guys today. Just really set your minds on glorifying God alone and really having your heart and mind set on how can you today practically think about, meditate on, pray about, and commit to giving Him glory today. How can you give Him glory in the way you think, the way you treat others, the way you speak, the way you act? And it could be glorifying Him in not reacting to other people. It could be glorifying Him in setting your mind on Him or praying to Him. And it could be glorifying Him in the way you speak to people throughout your day. Even if someone's nasty or mean to you, that you can glorify God by speaking kindly and treating them as they don't deserve to be treated, just as we have been treated, as we don't deserve to be treated by Him. So hopefully this encourages you. I hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.